All right, so save. All right, so save that. Give me a minute. All right, now after you have set up the venue track, now the next thing you're gonna want to do is pick an instrument to chart first, but on the song, because it's really always recommended is that you have to try to always just put in like every type. Like you just have to like make sure all the eligible tracks before a song has the notes filled in each track. So then it'll like make it easier for you to know like what instruments you're gonna do later. So if you made a tempo map and if you want to like figure out if the tempo map's correct, then the most recommended thing to do first is do drums first, because when you do drums, basically though, it'll make it a lot easier for you to tell like what type of like so then you'll basically be able to see if the tempo map is correct and make sure it's hit on time. Because if it's not hit on time, then the notes that you put in will like not appear at the right places in the game, and it will not really feel like that you're playing the song, no matter what. So I'm gonna go ahead and just focus on guitar first, because that's basically the instrument that I always focus on first when it's Rock Band or Guitar Hero, because I played guitar many times before on Rock Band and Guitar Hero, like back in the day. So what you're gonna do first is just to make sure that you have a lot more room to basically see the Rock Band Network preview. So the first thing you want to do is click this line right here, and then make sure to, well, actually hold click the line, left click, hold the left click on this line, and then drag it down. So that way, when you do that, you'll be able to see like more of the track, and then whenever you have when you have like the main area to be pretty small, all you just have to focus on just for now is just experts. So it just has to be like this small in order to like basically just chart the notes in. By the way, you can basically zoom in with the plus tab, or with the plus key, no, with the plus button or the minus button basically on the laptop. If you click this minus icon, you can see it around on the bottom right of the screen of this laptop. I'm zooming out, and then when I click the plus sign, it zooms in. Hang on, let me just fix this up really quick. Now, probably one thing that you might need to change, basically though. Sometimes if you're working on guitar, bass, or drums, like in the C3 RB3 template, basically though, like the default grid is basically set to like 1/16. So that basically a lot of people would a lot of like custom creators would always recommend that to treat that as a single gem, basically for a Rock Band song. But if it is like basically a rock, but if it's basically a like if it's really like a song, but basically though that has like some guitar notes or drum notes or bass notes that are just that fast completely though, then maybe instead you probably should just set the grid to 1/32 instead of 1/16. So I'll show you what that does. 1/4 basically means it'll be this long when you place a single note down. 1/8 is a bit shorter. 1/16 is the most recommended one by a lot of the custom creators, but I would kind of disagree with that. But yeah, only if you're making like easy slow songs basically that's singing up to the beat though, it's recommended to just use 1/16. But if you're making like but if you're placing down notes that have like some patterns that have like fast notes that are faster than 1/16th, then you might want to set them up to be a bit higher than that, like 132, for example. So when you do that, it'll make it look like it's a proper jam, basically. Though, even though like putting a 1/16th note is really like not gonna really like make it even though putting it like 1/16th is not gonna make it a long note, like the shortest long note to get. But you get the idea. So what you're gonna want to do is oh, oops, I pressed the wrong button. I clicked the wrong one. So the first thing you want to do is open up your video window, just in case that if you need to, or if you do have a video file basically on Reaper that you have downloaded from YouTube. Let me extend this a bit. Okay. Now you could basically see here is that on the tracks, basically, though, what you can see is this is basically the FX button. So it means when you click this, watch what happens. Look at that, so cool. So it means when you have the Ropin Network preview basically put in, basically, though, it'll basically show the actual fretboard of guitar. So it means if you open up the one for drums, it'll show the drum board, you know? Really cool. Oh, and there's also another thing you can do. You can also adjust the volume of tracks, basically, just by like using like, and it's basically by either using this, which is basically like it's basically like the knob, which means when you turn the volume knob, it'll basically like change the volume to be either loud or soft. So let's say I'll turn this up to like 7 on the volume, or I can just turn it down to be like that low. So when I turn it up higher, let's go to like a different point in the song. You can see here is that it's really loud, and then when I turn this down, let me mute this video file so then you don't hear the audio of the video. Now when I turn this down, basically, for example, turn it back up a bit. Well, what you might have also heard when it's like really low, though, you would barely hear anything. So yeah, you like, trust me, you do not want the volume to be on soft, because then you're not going to be able to hear the track at all. So make sure to like mess around with the volume, see like which one basically like see like what type of volume works out for you, depending on your TV completely, no matter like which type of volume you're using for your TV, basically, though. So that basically means the volume for mine is like pretty low in order to make it normal. So that basically means I wanted to turn the volume up for this, basically, though, when tempo is basically when the volume on my TV is set to 8, basically, though, it would just be like at least the normal volume for the audio, which means it would be a little loud but not too soft. Not too soft, not too loud. That's basically what like normal what like a normal volume is. And I also have like muted the video file just by dragging this down and moving this to negative infinity. So minus INF dB is basically is the one you want to set the volume to for the video. So now when I basically hear this, let me turn the volume down really quick to 30. Is this 30? Okay, it is. Okay. So now it is pretty like normal, so that's good to know. Also, here's some differences basically about the drums. you can like oops, didn't mean to click that. When you have the Rock Band Network preview open, basically for the drums though, if you're using the C3 RB3 template, basically though, then the type of mode on drums that you probably won't want to use is Pro Drums, which is basically like this one right here. So that means if you're doing Pro Drums, it'll show cymbals. Like I'll show you that really quick. Oops, that's not it. Actually, I need to be in the drum MIDI editor to do it. All right, well, you know, I'm gonna do that in the next part then. So for now, let's just focus on guitar. So, let me scroll down really quick so you can see it. So hit this FX button and you should see the guitar fretboard. Even if you open up the preview for bass, it's the same thing. It's still the same fretboard that you can just use. So yeah, nothing to really worry about there. Alright, so first of all, let me actually like set up hang on. Let me basically like set up the Rock Band Network preview to be like matching up kind of. And then I'm gonna like adjust this video window. So you can basically see here is, yeah, the video size will basically increase, like, when I set it to different types. So anyways, so I'm going to show you this really quick. Whenever you basically place down a note, it'll show up in the Rock Band Network preview. But first of all, when you move this cursor, it's not really doing it, kind of. So you can basically see is when you move the cursor, it moves with that Rock Band Network preview. Just basically good to know. I mean, it's kind of like laggy basically to be doing that, but I mean, like it's basically fine now. I mean, you can basically just like this. So that means when you play the song, basically, you know, just from like playing the project, it'll move basically like that, just like it is when dragging the cursor. Now here's the thing: when you place a green note in the MIDI editor, it'll show a green note basically at that point of a measure that you place it in. See, look, there's a green note right here, and that means when you when it goes through it, it plays the note. So like, watch. And then a red note will show a red note, and then yellow, if you place a yellow note there, it will show as a yellow note. Blue note, once there's a blue note there, it'll play that. And then orange, there's an orange note there, it'll play it through once it goes through. So yeah. Now let's say you want to make patterns like this. That is basically going like, kind of like this. It'll basically go, it'll produce automatic hammer-ons basically though to make it look like it's an impossible pattern to hit if you fret fast enough. So just in case that if the so just in case that if this blue note basically does not like is not like connected properly with the other notes, the other tap notes or slide notes or HOPO notes you can use. And the most recommended way is to just put like an HOPO on note on top of that blue note. And now, as you can see, it turns that blue note into a note you can just tap on without having to strum it. So yeah, that's like really fast, isn't it? So now sometimes a regular pattern can sometimes be like this though. So here's another example. Here's a chord. You can see this is a chord. It will play both of them at the same time. It will play that chord once it goes through it, and then you could see. Hang on. Now, when you make a green and yellow chord, it will be a bit wider. For green and blue, it will be like 2 frets wide. And then for green and orange, this is like the widest 2-note chord you can get. And you can also do the same thing for any other like note rows. Red and yellow, red and blue, red and orange, yellow and blue, yellow and orange, blue and orange, and then this is basically like the highest small chord you can get, blue and orange. And you can do 3-note chords as well. You could do this, or you can even make really wide ones like this, or ridiculous ones like this. I mean, it's really crazy, isn't it? Really, really crazy. So make sure to basically just play around basically with those chords, see like which one would sound right. So here's something to know really quick. Green's the lowest pitch, red is the lowest, it's the second low, it's middle low, yellow is the middle pitch, blue is basically the middle high pitch, and orange is the highest pitch on expert. You can even do 4-note chords like this, basically though, like, and you can do the same for the higher notes as well. But the type of chords you cannot do is basically this, because Rock Band does not support that. So don't try to really just set up a chord like that, because Rock Band does not allow it. Because it's not supported. You can make 4-note chords kind of like this, or even like this as well, with leaving no yellow note. Okay, I keep pressing the wrong button for no reason. Okay, let me just go back up really quick. And a long note is like this. It'll also do the same thing for the chords as well. Yellow, blue, and then orange. So it means if you even do a chord as well, to turn to a long note, it'll do the same as well. Anyways, now that I have like shown you the basics of authoring, now I'll show you how to properly do it according to this video. So first up, the first notes are red and blue, green and yellow, red and yellow, and then it basically ends with a blue and orange power chord. So I'm gonna go back here. It plays a note right there. Actually, for some reason though, it seems like that okay, so it really seems like that it's kind of not correct though. Hang on. Okay, well I guess it is correct though, but it's just that it wasn't doing the right playback then. So, anyways, So just in case that happens, by the way, it's recommended to always have the time ops be minus 250 milliseconds. Because if it's set to 0 though, it'll just look like it's just out of sync in the Ropping Network preview. So the only way to fix that is make sure to turn this all the way down to negative 250 ms just to make sure it's right. So that's 2 quicks. So we need to slow that down a bit by putting a note there. So the thing is, you have to make the pattern first before you can copy and paste it. So like it's these chords first, and then like yellow and then green chords together, 4 of them. Of course, it's always recommended to like go through the entire pattern just to make sure it's right. And then red and yellow chords. Oh, and just in case, if you accidentally make a note that's too big, like this, then don't worry. You can always just reduce it just to make sure. Also, there are sometimes very small. There are sometimes some like very small errors. Basically, what from like when you're building when you're basically building your song basically in Magma is that it also sometimes is that sometimes there could be like a note that could be like slightly out of place, and then some of them could be like slightly smaller or bigger, a bigger basically note than the way it's supposed to match. So in case that if that does, like if it's like slightly bigger or if it's slightly out of place, then it's good to just remove those notes and then just redraw them. So then then Reverb will be able to recognize the new notes that you placed in that are in sync. So it's 2 of these chords, and then when you go further, and then that's like blue and orange. So you can basically see here that the pattern's starting to repeat here. So we can just copy that pattern that we've made, and then go to the measure to where that next pattern starts. Go to put the cursor there, hit Control V to paste it. So as long as it's the same way, basically, though, you should be fine. Like I said, if there are any like differences in each pattern, basically, though, make sure to always to check on those patterns, just to basically like make sure that the patterns are being played right. So here's an example. So yeah, you can basically see here. So yeah, so you can see here. See here. So see this right here? It's repeating again. So just keep pasting it. Now here's the difference in this pattern. Now the blue and orange chord is now a long note. So the long note basically like ends here, I'm pretty sure. So the way to do this is grab the edge of those notes and then extend it to make it a long note. See that? Easy peasy. Easy peasy to figure out. Now if we play through this entire measure again, I'll show you really quick. See, easy to figure out. And you can see here, these are actually these are basically like the notes that can be affected by star power or overdrive. So paste that in again. And then you could basically see here is that this is basically like a yellow and blue chord that is now affected by an overdrive phrase. So the way to affect that is by putting an overdrive phrase over it, and when there's an overdrive phrase over it, you can now see is that it is now glowing white. So that basically means it's inside an overdrive phrase. But that's like too short, to be honest with you. So the way I like to set that up is I like to have that be like one entire measure, unless if there are any long notes in there, because there could be some like long notes, because just because there could be some long notes that you would be able to whammy on, and you probably would not want them just whamming on those long notes every time, that to the same places to where the overdrive phrases are. So you can basically see here is that this pattern now is basically glowing white, because yeah, it's part of the measure, and it's inside an overdrive marker. So the rest of this, it's pretty much similar. Just keep copying the pattern in, and this is basically oh yeah, this is another overdrive phrase, by the way. So this one is now orange and red. So you can see here, that's where they are now, and then they are now in another overdrive phrase. So just put another one in there, and make sure that it's set to over measure, unless if there's like a long note that is connected to the start of a long note. Because if there's an overdrive phrase that is like on a long note, but if it's not at the start of that long note, then it won't turn it. So watch. Let's say there's a blue note right here that is an overdrive phrase, right? And like, let's say that if it's not in there, now if you put an overdrive phrase over it, but not at the start of the note, it will not turn into overdrive phrase. It will not turn into a white note whatsoever. So the thing is that you have to like absolutely make sure that every overdrive phrase that you put in is always having like notes in it, because if there's not a single one, if there's not a single note inside an overdrive phrase though, then the overdrive phrase won't work at all in the game. So basically just do this. So that's basically like 2 overdrive phrases which should just fill up the star power meter / overdrive meter. So it means it's basically it's just good enough to activate star power or overdrive. So I'll show you this really quick. See, look. Once you have enough overdrive, but by hitting 2 overdrive phrases, it'll basically like it'll let you go into overdrive. But anyways, I'm gonna basically cut from like right here, since you probably already know the basics basically here already, basically though, of like charting the notes on guitar basically though. So remember this tip really quick. If there's a really high pitched orange note, then that would mean it's an orange note. And if it's like a really low pitch basically though, then that would just mean that it is a red note. So yeah, so you can see it's a high pitched red note. So that basically means it has to be put in the high range. Anyways, like I said, I am gonna basically cut. Oh wait. There's one more thing you need to know. Whenever you are basically, if you're making like some sort of like fretting pattern like this basically though, and if it's just too fast for you to strum through though, then you can just basically just put a row of HOPO on to turn those into those notes. And then let's say that you are doing like this, right? And then if you want to basically make a really difficult pattern if you want, then you could basically just put an HOPO off marker there, and then it'll turn those into strumming notes. So yeah, simple to figure out. Anyways, yeah, all right. But anyway, like I said, now they have like shown the basics of authoring. That's basically what you saw, by the way. That is absolutely called authoring. Yeah, that means I place the notes that you will see in game. So yeah, simple to figure out, right? anyway, like I said, once I get to the guitar solo of this song, I'll cut to when I get there. So then I'll basically show you like how your like supposed to set up a solo, but how like a solo marker is supposed to be set up for a specific solo. So I'll also and after that I'll basically cut through the rest of the song basically until the guitar is fully done and charted. Since you pretty much already don't know what to do at this rate. So, anyways, so yeah, see you in a bit. Alright, so after some minutes later, I'm at the solo now. So basically, so I'm gonna show you like really quick. This is basically like how I basically do the solo. So, well, no. This is basically how like the solo is supposed to go in this song, according to this image right here. So you can see here is that I'm following the chart as the image basically though, and I'm placing the notes to where they should go. There's also another trick basically though. Hold control and then basically and then left click, hold the left click and make sure to drag it to the right to put them in. So yeah, that's basically simple to figure out. So when you do this, actually let me turn this up a bit so you can hear it. I don't know why Reaper's doing this. This one's a bit further. I'm gonna just put a I'm gonna put an on note on there just to make things easier. So in case you want to join those notes, just hit the letter J key to basically like join them together. Same thing here. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just placing as many of those on notes as I can just to make things easier. Same thing as before, just hold control and then like hold the left click. Anyways, if you're wondering what I did there, you can also hold control. You can also hold control at the same time to select. Just basically select any other notes basically in a group. So yeah, that's basically something you could do as well though, in order to basically like make sure that you're only selecting the notes that you need to either delete or paste. So you can see here, these are like the fast notes that there is available. For real though. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of them basically though. This one's this is a red note. Alright, so let's test that. Alright, and then go a bit further. .97 is this far of a long note. So yeah, 2 long notes of orange, and then the rest of them are a bit shorter basically. So the way that I basically do that is I basically just select a note, and then I set the grid to 1/28th. You know, it's not the most recommended one ever. I hold control, and just hold the right click, and then just drag that in. Let's just do that then, just to make it look more sense. Okay, anyway. Okay. So now I'm gonna copy that. Oh, oops, I actually forgot. 1/32. There. Does it one more time. Okay. And it's literally the same one. I'm just gonna do this thing, just so then I don't have to keep dragging it back and forth. Just gonna copy that pattern with Control C and just paste it. Now this part of the solo is really tricky. Red, yellow, red, green, red, green, red, and then yellow, blue, and then red, and then yellow, blue, yellow, blue, and then there's like some sort of like a short trill pattern. And then the yellow, and then after the end, the solo is a yellow. All right, so then after you've made the solo, which took me like over 9 minutes to make, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the beginning of the solo, Oh, oops, that's not right. Where is it? Right here. So the start of the solo is like right here, and this is where I'm going to put my solo marker there. So put it there. I'll show you how to do that really quick. Put the first note there, and then extend it all the way to the end of the solo. Right there. So now when you set that up, now it should look like a real solo. See that? Really simple to figure out. All right. Now I just gotta do the rest of the song. So I'll see you in a bit once I get it done. All right. So after like working on the guitar layer, it's finally done. Let's make sure the notes are like zoomed in. Good enough. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and just increase that again. So now I'm going to show you what I've done with this guitar. Expand this a bit so you can see it better. Okay. Alright, so here's the guitar chart for this song. First of all, hold on. Turn this up. Okay. Alright, so here's the guitar chart. That. You can see it's according to this video on the right. So there's the slow note. Sorry about the lag. Alright, so here's the solo I showed you. Now I did put some overdrive markers in there, as you can see, just to like match the star power phrases from entire one of the song. See that? I also decided to add in the HOP on note row just to make those notes easier for me to play. And here's the outro. So that is the guitar chart, and you could basically hang on. Let me put this on focus a bit more. So you could basically see here is that I moved the idle real-time text event to basically be at 131.2, like for sure though. Sorry, mom had to mom texted me again. Don't know why. Okay, anyway. Anyways, the next thing that you're gonna want to do is select every single note that is inside the whole what is it? Basically, like the whole track. So let's zoom out here, so then you can see all the notes at once that are authored inside of the song. I just really wish that mom would just stop like texting me already at this moment, because I'm getting close to finishing the recording. So once I selected all those, it's recommended to just copy those notes, just in case that if you deselect them by accident. Now what I'm gonna do is hold Control and then like drag this down, and then so now I'm gonna drag down all these notes to go into the animations. Save that, and then once you have the animations in, now it's recommended to just always like relook over like all of the entire notes, basically just to see that if there are any high pitches that you should just like change up, just to really like make sure that your musicians are playing the right notes on guitar or bass. Show that right here. So you can basically see here is that, yeah, this is the example. The yellow and blue chord is like, it's gonna go here since it's high pitched. Right here, move those up, like, so remember, like the high green is this row, this one is what is it? This one is like the high-pitched red, this is high-pitched yellow, this is high-pitched blue, this is high-pitched orange, in case you're wondering. So yeah, so turn that orange note into a dark, just a gray note. I don't know why it's always doing that for some reason though. Do that really quick. Same thing here. Oh, hang on. Okay, move those nuts up. Do that. Sorry about that. There's something that I actually forgot to mention. in case that if there are any like low guitar notes, if there's like a low green, red, yellow, blue, or orange basic note, I'll show you this. I'll show that as an example. So this is like low pitch orange. This is low pitch blue. This is low pitch yellow. This one is low pitch red, and then this one is low pitch green. So that's basically, so that's something to like keep in mind. Alright, anyway, gonna put this back. So that's basically something to keep in mind, just in case that if you hear any low guitar notes in the song that are like different frets, they're like different colors of the frets. I'll change this one to be a green note. Just the middle green note. So you can basically see what I'm just doing right here. It's just doing like the same thing basically though. Just make sure to just keep an eye on those notes, just to make sure that I'm like changing the pitch of those notes just to make sure it's right for the guitars playing the notes. Change these notes all the way from there to this point right here. Oh, hang on. I messed it up. So undo to undo the selection, and then like change it up. There you go. So yeah, you can see the solo notes are high-pitched notes, mostly. So remember, left hand highest and left hand lowest are basically just the rows just for the left hand animation, basically for the guitars to figure out like which frets to hold and hold while they're strumming the notes, basically though. So yeah, so if you saw that before on the real guitars, then before from a concert or from a music video, then that's basically what it's like. So the thing is, make sure that there aren't any like normal notes showing up on here. on those high pitched notes. All right, so there. That's the end. That's it for the animations. And there. That's basically how you chart guitars. So. Now the next thing that you are going to so now that you've done like one instrument basically, you can basically let me turn the brightness down a bit. Now you can basically see that now that we've charted the guitar part basically, it'll now show some notes in it, which is really good. For sure. Anyways, next part of the tutorial is we're gonna like show you how to chart the drums next. So yeah, so the drums are gonna like pretty much be different though. So I will show that to you in the next part.